So he's been crying about this thing, and Baruch Hashem, 7 suitcases didn't go on the plane. This one went. Baruch Hashem. Daf Ches Omid Aleph. Welcome back, all the new people. Shkoyach. Okay, so yesterday we had in the Mishnah. This is a chart that Reuven Chait made for me. You probably can't see well, but the red is 14 days of Tumah, a woman who gives birth to Nekeva. She has 14 days of Tumah, and then 66, just to emphasize how many days of Tahara. All this green, she started. Then she brings a carbon on day 81 in yellow. Could you see? Even though you're sitting close. You can't see. You can't see, okay. So the Mishnah asked the question, the Machlokes in the Mishnah is, what if a woman miscarries right over here?
On the night of the day.
The night before the day that she brings the carbon. Is the night part of the day or not? Beis Hillel say she has to bring 2 korbanos. The question is, if the days of Tahara are over, it's already nighttime, days of Tahara are over, so if she saw Dam on night of 66, or let's call it Or 81, then she'd be Tameh. But does the carbon, the carbon that she brings the following morning for her birth, is that enough for the miscarriage that she had? 1 carbon for 2 leidos. Or perhaps since she already went into a new tkufa, a new zman, a new tumah, if she became tameh that night, she's tameh, so maybe she has to bring another carbon. Okay. Tanya, now all of a sudden over here on top of Daf Ches Amud Aleph, Beis Hillel pull a new trick out of their hat. Until now they had a whole back and forth in the Mishnah logic, but now they pulled something else out. Tanya Omerlam Beis Hillel Bishamai Harei Oimer Oy Lebas Lerabas or Shmoinim Ve'achad. So they have a pasuk that says Oy Lebas. Oy, it should say Leben Ulebas maybe. Oy is very strong to tell you that a bas, if you give birth to a nekeva, it's very different than a zachar. And what's different? This possibility of her having a miscarriage, as we explained yesterday, you can't have a miscarriage by a boy because it's only 40 days, and until she gets pregnant, it's 7 days later. And anything under 40 days old, any miscarriage that's less than 40 days is not a miscarriage. Kids, it only applies to a girl. Says the Gemara, story. Rabbi Yishaya used to learn by Bar Kapara Shafke. He let him go. He went to look for a better Rebbe. And he learned by Rebbe Chia. So of course, Bar Kapara is very insulted. Yom Echad Pogabe. So Rabbi Shai bumped into his former Rebbe Bar Kapara, Boy Minei. So he asked him this question. Now let me set this up a little bit. Again with another Reuven Chait chart, who's not here today. A Zav, let's talk about Hilchas Zav real quickly. A man who sees a Re'iyah of Ziva, it's similar to Keri, but it's not Keri. One time, then he's like about Keri. That night he goes to the mikvah, he's tahar. That's case number 1. If he sees 1x, he's tahar that night. If he sees 2 re'iyos, then he has to wait 7 days, and then he is tahar without bringing a carbon. But if he sees 3 re'iyos, 1, 2, 3, it could be on 3 separate days, or even on 1 day by a man. Then he has to wait 7 days, like by 2 years, plus he has to bring a carbon. Ask Rabbi Yishaya the same question as we had over here, he's asking it over here. What happens if he sees 3 re'iyos on the night of the 7? His 7 days are done, but he can't bring the carbon until the following day, day number 8. So what if he saw another 3 re'iyos that night? Does he have to bring another carbon? Because now he's in a new time period. It's past the 7 days. Now he just saw 3 re'iyos. He has to bring another carbon for those 3, or maybe no. The carbon that he's going to bring tomorrow patters everything up to that point. Let's see inside. So he asks his former Rebbe Bar Kapara, Zav Shara Gimel re'iyos Beleil Ches. The night before he's able to bring the carbon, Ma Beis Hillel lo yomer b'davar zeh. What do they say? The reasoning that we just said by Beis Hillel perhaps is only, why did Beis Hillel say they have to bring 2 karbanos? Mishum d'chsiv oy lebas. There's a special pasuk by a Yeledes. Avazov Sharosh Shalish Riyos Bilel Shmoina Patri. There's no special pasuk by Azov. So therefore, since he saw 3 Riyos, it's as if he had a whole new set of Ziva, a whole new set of Ziva, he has to bring another carbon. Or maybe I can learn it out from a Yeledes. Just like by Yeledes, the pasuk tells us that you have to bring a separate carbon for it. So over here also, anywhere in the world, by Zav also you have to bring 2 carbonos. Either in a binyanav, or maybe just this concept, maybe this whole musik, like we're going to see soon, of Laila Mechusazman, La Mechusazman, we'll go into it in a second. Amalei Bakapara. Now Bakapara, remember, he was his Rebbe, he's insulted. It's like, you're asking me questions, you found somebody better than me, go ask him. He says, Ma Bavli Yoim B'davazeh, or Ma Aya. He used a derogatory lashon. What does Aya say about this? Ishtik Rebbe Shaya, Lo Yomar Klum. You don't answer something like that. Somebody talks not nicely about your Rebbe, he calls him Aya, a Bavli, whatever the girsa here is. You didn't say anything. There's a few different lashonas here. Did he ask him another question, not another question? Says the Gemara, at the end of the day, Srichin L'divrei Aya. Again, he uses the lashon, the derogatory lashon. But you know what? I need your Rebbe to answer this. And now Rashi explains this lashon over here, Nachzor al Rishonos, is similar to Omar Mar. Omar Mar. So the Gemara is going to say, Nachzor al Rishonos. Let's go back. Harei Yoimer lebas l'rabas or shmoine ve'echad. So what the Gemara means before is l'chayra that Aya Rebbe Chia is the one who says this concept of oila bas, and that's only by a Yeledes, but by a Zav, since there's no special limud of oila bas. So if there's 3 re'iyos, right over here, 3 re'iyos, you see in the chart itself, you have 3 days, 3 re'iyos of a Zav, then you have 7 Yimei Nikim, and over here again, once again, right before he's able to bring the carbon, he had another 3 re'iyos. That's the question, right? He had 3 additional re'iyos. Do you have to bring another carbon for those 3 additional re'iyos? So I say the whole pasuk of oila bas is only by Yeledes. So Yeledes has to bring 2. He only has to bring 1. So, but now let's go back. He says, says the Gemara, perhaps this is a machlokes. It's a simple machlokes. What's a machlokes? Zav shura shalish riyos belel shmoina toni chado maybe v'tani idoch eni maybe. So we have the steer in the brises. On the one hand, it says that if he sees 3 additional riyos right over here, you have to bring a carbon for it. And another brise says you don't have to bring a carbon for it. The ha the Tanya maybe kosover laila ein mechusas man. The Tanya ein maybe kosover laila mechusas man. What's going on here? Is the night the famous question? Is the night an independent thing by itself, or does it have to come onto the day? What's the difference? If the night has to come onto the day, so then the carbon you bring in the day takes care of everything that happened at night. So if this guy had 3 re'iyos at night, it doesn't matter because he's bringing carbon in the yellow the following morning, and that carbon takes care of everything from here all the way back here, because the night is part of the day. But if the night is independent of the day, laila lav mechusas man, it doesn't need to come onto the day. So the fact that I'm bringing a carbon tomorrow doesn't help me for what happened tonight. Tonight is a whole different story. So maybe I have to bring 2 carbonos. Maybe that's the machlokes here.
The reason why he brings the carbon the next day is because you don't bring carbonos at night.
Right.
You can't physically get into the
That is the question. That is the question. Exactly what you're saying. Is that the reason? Or maybe it's a halacha that the day has nothing to do with the night, and that's Shalom Aleichem Reb Hillel. Exciting days. Every 5 minutes a new person shows up. We had here yesterday, even more exciting than you. And you. We had Hillel Kamyansky, who wasn't here for like 3 months.
Well, that's it. He didn't come today.
Well, he never comes during. Even the fact that he came on a Wednesday was amazing. Usually comes on Sunday. I'm talking about Hillel. What are you talking about?
It's like a total yom.
It's full yom.
To wait until the day.
Right. Okay. So he has to wait until the day. That's the shaila. Is the night part of the day or not? Is it a technical thing or it's physically separate?
Is it like
like mixes which washes out everything.
Well, that's a svar later on. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol neh b'dvaroi. All right, you look invigorated. You look like it helped you this spin as man. Givaldik. V'hodis hayeh mei v'kosav alayla mechuz zman. Omer Avuna Baracha Omer Elazar. Let me just tell you about what's going on here. So just to set it goes back and forth. It goes like this. Rabbi Isai, you hear what's going on here? A guy had 3 re'iyos, he has to bring a carbon, right? If you have 3 re'iyos of ziva, 1, 2, 3, you have to bring a carbon. The Gemara is going to say as follows. You hear this? Listen, I know it's very exciting, this coffee, but you have to hear, this is Maridik, this is the whole sugi here. If a person has 1 re'iyah at night and 2 additional re'iyahs the following day on the 8th day, according to everybody, he has to bring another carbon. It was because 2 are during the day and the one at night is mitzdarf to the 2 in the day, and then you have 3 on the following day. In the
New section.
It's a new section, a whole new thing. Yeah, the 8th day. The following day is the 8th, after 7. The machlokes is going to be if he saw 2 at night and 1 in the day, or 3 at night. That's the shaila. Okay? Zog the Gemara. Everybody agrees that Laila is mechus zman. And memela, it has to come onto the day. V'adatanya mevi, and the brayso that talks about that you have to bring a separate carbon, a second carbon. Bezov bal shtei re'iyos. What happened? We're talking about this case over here. A Zov had 2 re'iyos. What's the halacha if a Zov has 2 re'iyos? He doesn't bring a carbon at all. 0. He waits 7 days. And then all of a sudden, on the night of the 7, all of a sudden, he had, I put over here 3 little X's because that's a new case. He had 3 re'iyos. Yeah. He had 3 re'iyos. And therefore, he has to bring a carbon now. Because these guys and these guys go together, and now he brings a carbon. What's the big chiddush? The Gemara is going to say, and you don't bring a carbon. He already had 3 re'iyos. So a maybe means he doesn't bring a second one. Maybe means he brings 1. And a maybe means he doesn't bring a second one.
Also brings 1.
What?
Both of them bring 1.
Both of them bring 1, exactly. They're both called different things though. One is a and maybe, one is maybe. Bekitzer, the one that's maybe means he has to bring a new one that he wasn't chayiv before because he only had 2 re'iyos, and 2 re'iyos you don't bring anything. And the one that says a maybe, he already is chayiv a carbon, so he doesn't bring another carbon. A maybe b'zov al gimel zov bal re'iyos ma'ila meimra. This guy over here that only had 2 re'iyos and he doesn't have to bring a carbon at all. And then he has 3 re'iyos. Of course he has to bring a carbon. Why shouldn't he bring a carbon? He saw 3 re'iyos. 3 sightings is enough for a carbon anywhere.
When does it
7 days later.
after the
Yeah, he has to wait. He has to wait 7 days. Hakam mashmalon. So here's a very big chiddush and a very big halacha that we don't know. The what? Dafka ra belil shmoina avul bi mama de shiva loy kosova koreia sheshe seres eina mevia ledei carbon. Very interesting halacha. This guy that waited 7 days patiently, and if he saw a re'iyah on the 7th day, not at night, on the 7th day, so what happens to all the 7 days? They go kaput. He has to start counting again. Anytime you're a bad guy, you're a re'iyah, you're a ziva that causes the days to go kaput, then we don't count them. We can't be mitzaref of them. And therefore, what the chiddush is that these 3 have to be after the 7 days are over, where it doesn't soiser these days. It doesn't make him recount the original days. Omar Rava, says Rava, wait a minute. You just said that the case, what's the case that you don't bring a carbon? Bezav bal sholish riyos. This case right over here, he saw 3 re'iyos, and then he saw 3 re'iyos at the end, right over here. Let's say 3 plus 3. How many carbonas did you say he has to bring? 1 total. You don't bring an additional carbon, you said according to that brayso, a maybe means you don't have to bring an additional carbon. Oh, if so, Rabbi say there's a Mishnah coming up soon. So if this whole Zav thing is confusing you,
What about the Yemei Tahara, if he sees 3 Re'iyos, does he have to bring a korban, then wait another Shiva Yemei Tahara?
what if he brings 2 korbanos?
The last case, he saw.
I would say he has to. I would say he has to wait. He has to wait. Probably he doesn't bring the korban. Why bring a korban b'tumah?
So it doesn't make the
It doesn't make sense to bring. These charts, I didn't make them. Reuven Shea made them. We have to tell him. So that's why I didn't upload to OneDrive. This is a snapshot off a screen. This is a screenshot. There's a Mishnah coming up tomorrow that says that there are 5 cases of people who could do, I think it's 5 cases, people that do a lot of averis, like somebody that's boil shifcha charufa, he does a lot of averis, many times, he brings 1 korban at the end. Over here I have another case, 6th case, called a guy that had 3 zivos on one day, and then 3 zivos at the end of the week, he brings 1 korban for both. So why is it not in the Mishnah? So it says Gemara lo psika. Because you can't just say a line like that, 3 here and 3 at the end, you bring 1 korban. Because sometimes you bring 2 korbanos. Why? So this is the bottom line that I was telling you before that we have to understand. If a person saw 1 re'iyah at night and 2 during the day, maybe shtayim, maybe. Then he brings 2. So here's the new halacha. If I could break the 3 re'iyos at the end, these 3 re'iyos, but I break it down, 1 at night and 2 during the day, so the 1 and the 2 combine as if it happened in the daytime. And in the daytime you have to bring another korban.
Strange idea for a royal situation.
It's not a roiv, it's a tziruf. Not a roiv. Because every ziva is a tziruf. A mitzaref the first day, that's nothing. It's a carry. It's like a carry. It's not a carry. It's like a carry. 2, another ziva that I had the next day. It's a tziruf, so I'm combining it. But when did it happen? It happened on the 8th day. And I bring it over to the 8th day.
So the second korban is brought after another 7 days? Or?
Yeah, that's what he has. That's what he has. That's what I think. Maybe he brings shnayim belaylo. But if I mamish need my Gemara here, my one with the Nekudas, Murday. Shnayim belaylo. But if this doesn't have, sorry,
Where is it?
it's ordered. It's coming soon. Tomorrow. Shnayim belaylo. But if the 2 re'iyos happen at night, v'achas bayoim, ein maybe. Then if I break it down, 2 at night, 1 in the day, then I don't bring. So Memela, I can't say that if I had 3 re'iyos, the same halacha applies to 2 re'iyos, 3 re'iyos at night, you don't bring a korban. So there's 2 halachas in the 3 that happen at the end. Either 1 and 2 or 2 and 1 and the different halachas, and therefore it's not brought down in the Mishnah. Omer Rabbi Yosef. Teda, I'll prove to you the achas balaylo ushnayim bayoim maybe. Makes sense, he says, that 1 at night, 2 in the day, you have to bring a separate korban. Why? The hariyah rishayna shichva zera ba'alma. Every time you have 3 zivas, the first ziva is just considered zera. Vilu chazi tartin achrini yasa. And if I see 2 additional ones, minstarvelu. So it becomes 3. It went from zera to ziva. So you see that I could schlep it with me. So over here also, I'm schlepping the one that happened at night to the 2 that happened during the day. So the Gemara is doichet. Amar Rav Sheishes, Bereder, Rav Idi, Midi Iriya. What's the connection? When he had a riyah, you call it a carry, call it whatever you want, but it happened at the time that I'm chayiv on a regular day. Achas balaylo, kivin the lazman chiyuva chazia. You love the Ashmina Rabbi Yochanan and Starif have a mina like the Starif. Your svara doesn't apply here because at night is not a time of chiyuv. It has no connection to the day. I need a chiddush to tell me that it's mitzvah. Don't tell me that it's connected. It's the same svara of the first ziva. Now, just in general, when we omer Rabbi Yochanan Laila mechusar zman, it seems like Rabbi Yochanan holds that Laila mechusar zman. In other words, the night is independent of the day. V'omar Chizkiya by a nazir mitma bayoim. It's the same halacha. as a zav, same thing, it's just by nazir. Nitma beyoim, if he becomes tamei on the last day, on the 8th day, maybe, then he brings another carbon, belayla, any maybe. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, afilu belayla maybe. If Rabbi Yochanan says that if a nazir saw tumah at night, he brings an additional carbon, what does Rabbi Yochanan hold? That the night is independent of the day. It has its own halacha. Memela, I bring another carbon. So he holds, Laila mechus zman. So how are you telling me that Laila is mechus zman? Says the Gemara, Ki ka'amar Rabbi Yochanan, Shnayim belayla v'achaz beyoim, Einu mevi l'divrei ha'omer mechus zman. Rabbi Yochanan is just explaining the other man the Omer. He bets him holds that Laila is lav mechusar zman, and since it's lav mechusar zman, I bring an individual carbon. He was explaining the other man the Omar that according to the other man the Omar, if you see 2 at night and 1 in the day, you don't bring a carbon. But he himself would hold you do bring a carbon. Why? Because the night is independent of the day. So if you see 2 at night and 1 in the day, you also bring a carbon according to Rabbi Yochanan. So the bottom line is that if there's a machlokes in Laila mechusar zman or Lav mechusar zman, if you hold that the night is independent of the day, so even if you see 2 riyas at night and 1 riyah in the day, according to Rabbi Yochanan, you'd be chayiv 2 karbanos. But if you hold Laila Lav mechusar zman, in other words, it's dependent on the day, so 2 riyas at night and 1 riyah in the day, you don't bring a second carbon because it's as if it happened the night before. The night before is shaykh to the first count. So that's pashut that if you see 2 at night and 1 the day, you don't have to bring. But the chiddush is, says the Gemara, the opposite case. If you see 1 at night and 2 during the day, then even he holds that you bring a second carbon. Mao the same of kivin the lav bisman chiyuv kechazile loyt tzarv kamash malon. Right? This is a tremendous chiddush. That everybody agrees is a great chiddush. I see 1 re'iyah at night, and that night, according to this man, the Omar is still part of the original week. Yet I could take the 2 re'iyahs of the following day and put them together with the re'iyah of the night before, and say he had 3 re'iyahs during the day, which is a new set, a new count, and therefore you bring another carbon, even according to the man the Omar that says that the night is not connected to the day.
Just the opposite. The 2 riyas at night and 1 is during the day. And the 1 is riyas.
2 riyahs at night and 1 during the day. Then according to the man the Omar, you don't bring another carbon because it's not connected to the day. All right, new sugar baisai. Whoever was sleeping can wake up now. Says the Mishnah Isha. It looks like everybody was mamish awake. It's just a confusing sugi. Ha'isha, or maybe I just said it confusing. I don't know. Ha'isha sheyesh aleh safek chomish leidos. This safek chomish zivos. A woman gave birth 5 times. Let's say she miscarried. She had tzveika. She doesn't know if she's chayiv a carbon or not chayiv a carbon. Like we had yesterday. It's one of these. Maybe she gave birth next to another woman, or even whatever came out. She's not sure if it looked like a fish or if it looked like a sandal. It's a big difference. One is chayiv and one is not chayiv. Mevia carbon echad. She brings 1 carbon v'yicheles bizvachim. So she's allowed to eat zvachim. So Rashi says a lashon here that b'koishi yitiru. Such a lashon he says. As we said yesterday, what if she really didn't give birth? Now you're bringing a carbon into the Beis Hamikdash, you're doing melika on its head, and you just did a nevela in the Beis Hamikdash for no reason. That's not very good. We said it's not the worst of the worst because you don't put it on the mizbeach, but you take its blood and you sprinkle on the mizbeach. I want to avoid that. Says Rashi, b'koishi tiru, we barely let her do it, so since we let her do it, we'll let her do it once. 1 time for all 5 sfeikas, but don't make her go through this 5 times. We don't want 5 sfeikas. What? We wanted to do it once because it was we let her do it, but it was a big problem. It's a suffix chulim ba'azara. Of course we let her. Halachically, if we want her to be able to eat kachim, so we go through this process of perhaps I'm bringing an avail into Beis Hamikdash. It's 50-50.
But you can't eat it.
Nobody could eat it, but now she could eat kachim because either she didn't give birth, and if she gave birth, she just brought a carbon. No. It's a melika. It's good. It's kosher. Melika makes it kosher, and it's not chulin. It's kosher bazara. But if she's not chayav a carbon and you do melika to it, then and it doesn't apply to any individual person, then it's a nevel in the Beis Hamikdash. It's as if I shechted it outside the Beis Hamikdash, and that's a problem.
So we're talking about where-
What?
No worse than her bringing in all that she decides one day.
No, it is worse. First of all, we're talking about a chatos. And oila, you're right. You could bring it like that. And it's not a problem. The problem is on the chatas part. The chatas only comes from Avero, not Avero. Mechutz Kippurim, that it brings her to eat kachim. And if
whether it was a Leida or a
not if not sure, let's go on the tzad that she didn't give birth. Let's say 100% we know for sure, and you brought a chatas on something that 100% she doesn't have to bring, then you just brought chulin into Azara. That you're asking if it's 100%. So now it's 50-50. So I allowed you on a 50-50 chance. There's a 50 chance you bring chulin. I allow you. You know why? Because we're nice to you. We want you to be able to eat kachim for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you won't be able to eat anymore.
That'd be the same on one Leida, not five.
So since she gave birth 5 times, let's limit this. It's a one-time thing. We'll let you do.
we're talking
But-
about if she had babies 5 years in a long time previously, and
Yeah.
suddenly realized she has to do this. Again.
Yes, not something you realized. As we're going to see here, in this mission itself, we're going to realize the price was so high she couldn't afford it.
It's like when somebody makes the house kosher, so we make various kulos in order that they should be good.
Yeah, we'll see. There's different coolers here. Chamesh zivas vadais. What about a case where she, and the ziva suffix just means that she wasn't sure if it was a ziva or nida. So what happens if different case? Chamesh zivas vadais, chamesh leidas vadais. She knows for a fact she owes 5. Mevi a carbon echad. So the chiddush is that she could get away with bringing 1 carbon temporarily, right? It's very expensive, as we're going to see in a second. Let's say she can't afford 5, so she brings 1. That's enough for her to eat zvachim. But hashar le'chayva, she doesn't get rid of her obligation to bring the other 4. Says the Mishnah Maisa story. Rabbi says story time. Maisa she'amdu kinim b'Yerushalayim b'dina zav. It's supply and demand, right? So there were no birds. A bird cost 1 golden coin, tremendous amount of money. Kinim, 2 birds. Kinim is a pair of birds. And it cost a dinazav for 2. Omer Shem Gamliel, Hamoyin Hazeh, the space Hamikdash, she made a shvua. Lo yolin alayla achiyah b'dinarim. I'm not going to go to sleep until it falls in price to a dinner of kesef. 2 for 1 dinner of
I
kesef.
had to bring the birds from outside Yerushalayim because there were no birds in Yerushalayim
Ever.
ever. We had a Gemara somewhere.
Wow. I want to live in Yerushalayim.
They didn't allow planting trees, etc.
They used to raise them there.
In order to.
In Bet Shemesh.
So there shouldn't be any offal.
No pigeons
Yeah.
on your roof.
I don't know if they raised it for that.
He's asking, it's a tefillah, he's asking Hashem to bring
Wait a minute. So if there's no birds in Yerushalayim, why do they have those things against ravens on the roof?
Now, I'm talking about.
No, in the Beis Hamikdash they had the pokers, the anti-bird device.
The ravens don't
They
eat.
had a whole sugi on how.
Maybe they didn't have doves.
Pigeons don't eat.
We gotta go. Rabbi side.
Pigeons don't eat meat.
Shia b'dinar b'soif. B'soif nichnas lebezdin. Now there's a concept Rashi brings. Eis lasois. That's how Rashi learns the sugya. Eis lasois l'Hashem eferet eresecha. I could give a bogus pshat in learning because it's a terrible matzav. She got up in Beis Medrash. Nichnas lebezdin. V'limed ha'isha sheyesh oleh chomesh leidos vadois. A woman who has to give, who gave birth 5 times, and she's chayiv 5 korbanos. Chomesh zivois vadois mevia korban echad v'oicheles b'zvachim. Rashi learns that he didn't hold like this. He just came in there. He wanted to slash the prices, and that's it. He says you only owe 1. Ve'en hashar le'achayva, and you potter completely. V'amdu kinin, and the way the shita on the side says that kinim over here means 2 pairs. In other words, 4 birds. So if you do the math, 1 dinar zar equal 25 kesef. Bekitzer, it went down to 1%. It went down 1%. 1% of what it was.
The Fed cuts the interest
Like
rates
the
to
Reuters.
bring down the market.
Yeah,
The news feed, the stock market.
exactly. He made 1 maisa the next morning, poof, and then he was able to go to sleep.
The story with they told everybody to stop buying fish.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
They were very into that. Zaktim, okay, 13 minutes.
The only quarter. So,
if you have a combination, 5 vadai, 5 suffix. Oy chomish leides vadai, chomish leides suffix. Mevia beis kinim. She brings 2 pairs. Achas ala vadai, achas ala suffix. There's a question here: why do you need bechlal? Maybe one should be enough for all 10. Bekitzer, you bring a pair for the suffix, a pair for the vadai. Shel vadai necheles. Of course, like we said, if you bring a chatos and you know that you have to bring a chatos, you could eat it. Vashar le'achayva. And the rest you have to bring at a later time. Shel suffix in necheles, you can't eat it because perhaps it's an available. V'nashar le'achayva. And you don't have to bring the rest, as we said. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri Omer, al vadei tomer al achroina v'tipoter shel suffix. Im yesh vadei b'neihem tomer al vadei v'tipoter. What's going on here? Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says that on the chatos, she takes the chatos and she has to say specifically, I want this to be on the last one, for the last one. Or if you have 5 sveikos, 5 births, one in the middle, let's say, is a vadai. So she has to specify and say, I want my carbon to go specifically on the vadai. And only then she becomes potter. As the Gemara is going to explain, the reason why I have to specify is that she shouldn't forget that she's chayiv another 5. If she says it specifically, I owe 4 more, but I'm bringing this one on that one which I'm chayiv, or on the last one, then she'll remember. But if she doesn't say it, she might think, oh, I was yet in my obligation, I don't have to bring anything else. She could say it on anyone she wants. What's machlokes? The Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri medam elohoin lechatos demand chayiv chomish chatois at the ma'aser kulon. So if a person is chayiv 5 different chatois, so v'soif mechaperle. The last one is what gives him the kapara. Hochanami loishna. So he wants to say a svar which the Gemara is going to be doichik, and the Gemara he says, okay, so over here also since she's chayiv 5, she has to specify the last one. Rabbi Akiva medam elohoin letfilos. Rabbi Akiva says it's like a tefillah. A person touched 5 different shrotzim in 5 minutes. He goes to the mikveh once. He doesn't have to specify, oh, I'm going to the mikveh for the last sheretz. He goes to the mikveh, it's for anything. It patters it all. The man the mechayiv chamesh tefillah is given tavachad zimno itar. Hachanami loishna. Amalei Papa iso kadei the Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri lechatos medam elohin. If in fact he's medam et lechatos, a ma'aseh suffix tomer lachas men v'tipoter. So then what's the difference between a vadei and a suffix? What's the difference? If a person has a suffix, what does he bring? Asham Tali. And in Asham Tali also, you have to be specific. Chatas and Asham should be the same. So, if a person did 5 suffix averis, and he has to bring 5 Asham Talis, he has to specify in the last one. The last one is what gives him the kapara. Hello, like we said before, the kuli amal tefillas midam elohin. No, in fact, it's like being tamei and just go to the mikveh once. We're just concerned that perhaps this woman will forget that she owes another 4. We're concerned, and therefore, if she says it with her mouth, it'll be a reminder. She can bring it on any one of her 5, and we're not concerned that she'll forget. She remembers very well that she's chayiv former korbanos hadron aloch shloishim v'sheish. Up until now, we learned about somebody that brings a chatos because he did an avera. Says the Mishnah, arba mechusri kapara. There are 4 people that bring a chatos not because they did an avera. Like a woman that gives birth, she didn't do an avera. She brings a chatos because she's mechusri kapara. She wants to eat kachim, and the only way she can eat kachim is if she brings a chatos. What are the 4? Va'arba mevim al azodin kishagig. And 4 are going to bring a chatos even if they did an aver b'mezid, and that's tomorrow's Mishnah. Today's Mishnah is ve'eluhem mechusri kapara hazav v'hazava. As the Gemara is going to point out, zav and zava are 2 categories, not one. It's not ziva, it's zav and zava. They bring a carbon, they didn't do an avera, something came out of their body, they bring a carbon, finished. V'hayuledis. It's a woman that gave birth. Again, somebody has an infliction on his hand and he has to bring a carbon. It's not because he did an avera, maybe he spoke lashon hara, but at the end of the day, why is he bringing carbon? So he could eat kachim.
Later, maybe she said something bad or made a
but we don't know. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer ger mechusik kapara. So Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov adds 2 more things. A ger, he says, is mechusik kapara. Meaning, he's also in kachim until he brings a carbon. Achizar galabadam, nazir, and a nazir has to bring a carbon. A nazir is number 6 on the list because he has to bring a carbon in order to drink wine and to get a haircut and be careful from tumah. Once he brings the carbon, he could be mitamal lemeis. Says the Gemara, why does the Mishnah bring down a zav? And a zav has 2 different categories. Why? They have different halachas. What's the different halachas? The zav lemitame ba'inus. What if a zav lifted up a very heavy object and it caused him, there's 6 things that could cause you ziva, eating excessively, drinking, lifting, whatever it is, and he saw ziva? Nothing. Ignore it. But a woman who lifted a heavy object and she had a ziva, that's a good ziva. So Mela, the halachas are different. And they're brought down in different categories. The Sanya, and a zav who sees three different riyos in one day is 3 times. A woman needs 3 separate days. The Sanya tola kosev is a zocha beriyos v'sanakeve b'yomim v'zova metame ba'oines v'lo metame beriyos b'yomim. Ask the Gemara. Okay, so you made it 2 categories. So make also mitzvah mitzuras nami chaluka to mason. They're also separate. They're also very different than mitzvah mitzuras. The mitzvah taught in prio prima. A mitzvah has to let his hair grow, and he rips his clothing. The second halacha is he's also in tashmish. U'mitziras doesn't have these halachas. Einatuna prio primo. She doesn't have to let her hair grow, and she doesn't have to rip her clothes. The sanya ein le'ela ish isha minayin kshu omer batzarua. It's talking about a mitzvah, and then it says v'hatzarua as if we're talking about a different individual, separate than a woman. A man is different. He has to do prio primo. Harikin shnayim imkei matam loymar ish nitka kosav min shemalu in shemato loymar. Ish pereo perem veinu isha peras uferemes. Isha doesn't have to do prio primo. Umutar b'tashish mamito shenemar v'yeshe mechutz la'ala shivas yomim. He sits out of his tent. V'lo mechutz la'ala. It's only he has to be parish and not her. Hilkoch has the Gemara and minu betrain zav betrain. So mitzvah and mitzuras should be 2 separate categories in the Mishnah. So we should have 5, not 4. Says the Gemara, zav zav iketu masam chaluka. How they become tamei is different. Not a halacha once they are tamei. Mitzvah and mitzuras and iketu masam chaluka. Hay v'hay grisu. Mitzvah and mitzuras both become tamei in the shear of a gris, a half a bean. What happens afterwards? He has to be careful from this and that, but not how they become tamei. Masha'enkin is zav and zava. How did they become tamei? They become tamei in different days. Taisus has a very nice point there. He says also, a zav, his emission is white, and a woman's emission, a ziva, is red. It's a completely different thing. So maybe it's different categories. Says the Gemara. Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov Omer ger mechusar. Tanakama my time eloitani ger. How come the Tanakama doesn't count it as a 5th thing? Ki kotani midam de mishul lemecha bekochim ger ki komaisi korban achshur nafshei lemel b'kohol. A ger brings a carbon. Very interesting. Chachamim agreed to Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov that once a ger brings a carbon, he could eat kochim. However, why does he bring a carbon? To become Jewish. He's not a Jew before that. Yes, once you're Jewish, you could eat a carbon. But that's not what the Mishnah is talking about. The Mishnah is saying, Mechusri kapara, specifically to allow me to eat a carbon. That's not why a ger brings a carbon. Does a ger bring a carbon to eat kachim? No, he brings a carbon to be Jewish. Once he's Jewish, he can eat kachim. There's no machlokes in that nikuda that the carbon allows him to eat kachim though. So the Gemara of Nazir Metam Elitani, and how come Chacham don't bring the case of Nazir? So if Nazir Nami Kikomaisi Carbon the story the Mishnah Yain the Chulin who he brings a carbon not to allow him to eat kachim, he brings a carbon to allow him to drink wine. But allowing to drink wine is enough for Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov to listen in the Mishnah of Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. There's another case. What about a Nazir who became Tamei and now he has to start all his count all over again? Says the Gemara, that guy that starts over, that the reason why he brings the carbon is to start over. not to drink wine. Maybe eventually he gets to drink wine because he started over, and then eventually he'll drink wine because of it. But that's not why he brings the korban. Tanu Rabbanon ger me'ukov lechol v'kochim. How does it work? A ger, he has to bring 2 birds. And they're both oilos, is the Gemara going to say. And if he brings 1 animal instead of 2 birds, that's also good. Now, if he brings 1, really 1 bird is enough for him to become a ger. So why does he bring 2 birds? Because birds always go in pairs. But in order to allow him to eat what he needs to eat, 1 bird is enough. So Mamela says the Gemara, ger mu'ukav lecha b'kochim at sheyavi kinoi hevi preda achas, and if he brings 1 bird, shachris in the morning, oicha b'kochim, lar, so he can eat kochim. Kol akinin shabbat toiro, echad chadas echad oila. Usually, when a person brings 2 birds, one is a chadas, one is a oila. Kan shtein oilos. Over here is different. Both are oilos. If you brought 1 animal instead of 2 birds, yotza. As the Gemara is going to say at the end of the day, an animal costs a lot more than 2 birds. Just we made it easy for him, so he said he could bring birds. But don't punish him if he brings a $1,000 cow. Or a keves or whatever it is. Yotza oilu shlamim. Really, this word shlamim is not very important over here. It fits in with the rest. So if he brings oil shlamim, it's no good. It really means yatsa mincha ushlamim. Oila ushlamim yatsa. If he brought oil and a shlamim, meaning even we just said a second ago, if he brings 1 oila, then it's yatsa. So of course he brought oil and shlamim. But the following words, mincha ushlamim lo yatsa. He's not yatsa if he brings a shlamim and a mincha. So that's why the Gemara said a second ago, oila ushlamim. Right, the ikr is the oila, and if he brought a shlamim and a mincha, no oila, nothing happened there. Loyamru ken, they only said to bring 2 birds, ela lahakal, to make it easy on him. Says the Gemara, Maishna mincha ushlam l'yatz d'chsiv, kasher tasu ken yazeh, in the midbar, Klal Yisrael brought karbonos, and kasher tasu ken yazeh, the ger has to do like Klal Yisrael did. Matim oilu shlamim, av ger oilu shlamim. Imkein chavos yachas min abehema lo tizgalei. B'gavei. Dochsiv kasher tasu kain yaseh. So, in fact, the Gemara, if Klal Yisrael brought a oilo shlamim, so maybe he also has to bring a oilo and shlamim, or a papa yishlomer lo'oif yisrabe lo'ilis behem lo'ikolchkein. If he brought a bird and it's just the oilo, it's enough. So if he brought a very expensive animal, an oilo, it shouldn't be enough. Yachi afilu mincha nami. So maybe he should bring a mincha like Klal Yisrael brought a mincha. He should be yotze with a mincha. Says the Gemara, no, kro kain. No, you can't bring a mincha. They brought a mincha in the midbar. A ger doesn't bring a mincha. V'oif heiches Rabbi. And how do I know you can bring a bird? The Tanah Rabban kasher tasu ken yase matem oila ushlamim afu oila ushlamim. Shenemar kachem keger minayin Rabbi soif tamaloyma isha reich nichoich l'Hashem is a dovish kula Hashem have oima oila soif. What is completely burnt, that's oila sa'oif, and Mamela I know that a ger could bring an oila. Have a wonderful day. Nisim.